Hello, it's 10 o'clock, October 25th, 2021. Welcome to the weather update. We had a fairly cloudy day today, obviously. Plenty of clouds around, though it didn't stop me from enjoying some of the nice color that is out there in Mass Peak Reserve. It was beautiful, as it always is. But we did have some of this interesting cirrocumulus clouds kind of coming into the picture a little bit here, as you can see. Looked some interesting kind of skies as we got toward the evening there. But anyway, let's get to the weather and what's going on right now, because we already have rain on the radar and some heavy rain, and maybe even some thunderstorms out there already starting to come in. It's very humid out there, so it's not a surprise given the air mass that we're in that we're seeing that. And there's actually a flash flood warning out for one of those that is over Bergen County right there. So we're starting to see those heavy showers and thunderstorms starting to move into the area here on the radar, as you see. And if we pull this out a little bit, you see some more offshore there. Looking at this other radar here, let's go ahead and look at this, and you can see what's going on here. Look at this. That's okay. We'll take a look at that in a moment, but look at some of this really heavy rain that is over parts of Bergen County, and that's why they have these flash flood warnings. Actually, this might be more like Passaic County, Wayne, Patterson, into Ramsey, into Rockland County, seeing some of these heavy rain showers and possibly even some thunderstorms here. I'll have to check the lightning detector in a moment, but you can see here there's some pretty heavy rain out there that we're going to see, and that's going to be the main issue that we're going to be dealing with tonight. Let's see if there is any lightning out there. Oh, yes. These are actually thunderstorms producing lightning. So it looks like quite a hefty thunderstorm they're having over Passaic County right now. Ken, we are in late October here. It's very unusual to see this. Extremely unusual to see this. So we have a number of things going on across the area, a number of watches and warnings. We're going to look at the first. We're actually going to start with this, with the briefing here on this nor'easter here. There's a wind advisory in effect now for eastern Long Island, southeastern Connecticut. Flash flood watch through Tuesday afternoon. Coastal flood advisory now in effect for much of the area through Tuesday high tides. And gale and storm warnings now in effect for all marine warnings Tuesday and waters and Tuesday into Wednesday. And these are your hazards here that we have: flash flooding, 3 to 5 inches of rain likely, locally 5 to 7 inches of rain possible. So flooding, that's going to be tonight through Tuesday afternoon. The strong winds, 25 to 35, gusts 40 to 60. Impacts, scattered, downed trees and power lines, power outages possible. And the highest winds across eastern Long Island, southeastern Connecticut. And this is going to be Tuesday morning through Wednesday afternoon. Coastal impacts, 1 to 2 foot of inundation in vulnerable areas. And the highest threat is going to be oceanfront and vulnerable locales along the south and east bays of Long Island and western Long Island Sound. And yeah, we just had the lights flicker a little bit here. We're not even in the storm yet. What the hell? I'm not very confident about the power grid here in Mineola. It's very bad. Of course, if you're on the South Shore, everything will be just peachy keen. Well, maybe not peachy keen if you're right on the water. But wind gusts of 34, right on the water, you're going to see seas 10 to 15 feet on the ocean. So that's going to be Tuesday morning through Wednesday p.m. The flooding impact is between elevated and significant. The strong winds is elevated, coastal communities, coastal impacts limited, and the nearshore waters is an elevated and significant. And these are some of the heavy rains and the flood potentials here that we have to worry about here as well. Flash flood watch is in effect. And this is their official rainfall forecast. And they give us parts of Nassau County up to 4 inches of rain. That's incredible. So we're going to get like a month's worth of rain. All of October's rainfall in one event, pretty much, because we've hardly had any rain at all this month. It's been extremely dry, and now we're going to get most of our rainfall in this one event here, which is pretty crazy to think about when you think about it. So let's go look at the satellite, and you can see here we are. Here are the players, and this actually looks quite tropical in nature. This thing offshore here. I don't think the Hurricane Center has anything for it. Let me go to the Hurricane Center now and see. Oh, yep, here we go. 20% chance of cyclone formation. So this scale area is forecast to move through the next and could acquire some subtropical characteristics. So here we go. The Hurricane Center is watching this. This could become a subtropical, some type of hybrid storm. This is what I've been talking about with those warm ocean waters. But you can clearly see the players here, the low off to the west and the tropical system right here, the coastal tropical system. And that's going to actually get hooked in toward us, which makes this all that much more disturbing. Let's go to the CONUS view. So you can see the two players here. Again, here is your low over here. Your upper level low here. And this is your coastal system right here, your coastal tropical hybrid. And these two are going to get together. This is going to transfer its energy over to this, and then the jet stream is going to draw the jet stream in purple. Is going to hook this thing. This is like sort of what the jet stream's doing right now. Is going to hook this thing back at us like this. So that's sort of like what we're going to be dealing with over the next 24 to 48 hours. All not a very good scenario at all whatsoever. So let's look at our current conditions outside right now, and it was definitely warm and extremely humid out there. We've got some really high dew points. Let's get this all to load here, which would be really nice if it would load. It would be absolutely awesome. Seems like it's stuck. Seems like we have a stuck... Oh, here we go. All right. Well, you can see dew points generally are in the... Yeah, it's really being very slow. Dew points in the mid-60s. So 68, the dew point is 64 at Farmingdale. Even though we have a south wind, a very mild day today. Got up to near over 70 in most areas with that cloud cover. Let's take a look and see what our high temperatures were today. And again, I don't know. My mouse is acting very weird. Let's go to the high temperatures. Let's get this. So you can see a big difference here. In Jersey, you could see they got up into the almost near 80 degrees there in Toms River, 79. On Long Island, we were cooler with there was an ocean influence because it kept us in the low 70s, whereas Jersey was near 80 degrees all the way up near 80 degrees. So another really ridiculously warm day for a lot of our areas, especially west. Really 74 at LaGuardia, 73 at JFK, 72s pretty much at Farmingdale, Islip, Shirley, and also West Hampton. So fairly uniform. But again, once you get into Jersey, it's much warmer. Again, with that wind over the land, it really just picks up a lot more heat. So let's go look at the models and take a look and see what we got going on here with this storm as it gets together offshore. And I'm going to actually just keep this on the eastern U.S. Version of things here, the eastern U.S. view. So you can see, we're going to look at the GFS. And here's your coastal storm. And what's going to happen here is you can see, look at all that heavy rain that's over us. So you got this heavy rain, and then you got this coastal storm here that's got some tropical characteristics to it. And it's going to get hooked back at us tomorrow night into Wednesday before pulling away. It's going to do like a loop-to-loop again because of that jet stream. It's nothing unusual. The unusual thing about this storm is its tropical characteristics and its path. It's not unusual to see nor'easters at the end of October, toward the end of October, but there are some unusual things about this storm and its strength as well. And this is all actually, there's also a huge storm out west too that I'm not even talking about that wound up hitting that area and causing a lot of power outages. And if we go to poweroutage.us, you'll see here all the power outages out west in California and Washington. They've had some pretty significant rainfalls and wind gusts there. I'm talking like 5-6 inches of rain. So all the areas that were dry have now gotten soaked, and now they got to worry about mudslides and stuff like that from all the areas that burned in those fires. But anyway, looking at our weather, this thing slowly pulls away Wednesday. We get a break Thursday, and then look at this. Here comes the next storm rolling in just in time for your weekend, though it doesn't look quite as intense as this one, fortunately. So let's take a closer look at this thing, and we will go and look at the GFS again. And again, looking at this heavy rain that we're going to be dealing with for much of tomorrow night. We're going to have to wait until Wednesday before it moves away, and then we get a break, and then the next system moves in. Now, let me go to the winds here. Look at the wind on the GFS model, and we'll also, we've got a lot of models to look at here, so you get an idea. So we're not dealing with too much wind in the early part of the day, but as you get to the later part of the day, as this center gets flung westward, this is what we have to worry about here, especially overnight, Wednesday morning. That gets close to the east end. And some really strong tropical storm type conditions possible over the east end, the Cape, and southeastern coastal New England. Now, it looks like, on this at least, it keeps that part of it away from the western part of Long Island and New Jersey. And then, like I said, it slowly moves away. But this is very significant here. And I think this is going to be very bad for the Cape. The Cape Cod is probably going to be hit the hardest by this storm. Let's look at the wave height. And you will see here again, look at these very high waves that are going to pound into the Cape and coastal New England. Look at that purple. I mean, that's not something you see all the time. That's going to be a significant... This is going to be very bad for the Cape. And then parts of the east end as well. This is going to be, like I said, almost like getting a tropical storm or hurricane. This is going to be pretty significant. All right, and then the wind is one element of it, and then you have all the rainfall. So we go to the total accumulated precipitation on the GFS, and it's giving us at least 3 to 5 inches, and possibly locally higher because of these heavy rain showers that we're going to get, downpours, and even thunderstorms with this. All right, and the reason why we got the thunderstorms, if we look at the dew points, you see we got all this humidity in the air here. That's enough, give it all this tropical air. It's going to be around, and we're going to be in that tropical air for much of today into tomorrow until we get toward Wednesday. All right, so you could see that, and you can see the wind and the circulation there behind it. So there's going to be some pretty damp tropical air we're going to be dealing with, and of course it will also be warm as well. Got these muggy conditions tonight. Going to be muggy and warm tomorrow as well. Probably 60s, dew points in the 60s. It won't be feeling cold until you get toward Wednesday, and then it's going to feel chilly. You can kind of see the cold air, but look at New Jersey, a lot warmer, and this kind of indicates where the sun might come out on Wednesday, looking at this GFS. So let's go to some of the other models here. NAM, HRRR will be next. Let's go to the 0Z HRRR, and we're going to look at the precipitation. So here we go. And again, we get into that heavy rain, and you can see, look at that. This is almost like a little squall line or deformation boundary that forms over here. This is going to be some really heavy stuff here that's going to, showers, thunderstorms. Some of these could have flash flood warnings, maybe even severe thunderstorm warnings perhaps with this, which is very unusual. Get into this heavy rain, and then it wants to put us in a break later to this is the HRRR. It gives us a break Tuesday afternoon before more rain wraps back in the evening, although not as heavy. But look at the low pressure center. It takes it right over Cape. This could get a name. So keep that in mind, that this might wind up getting a name. So this might actually be considered a subtropical storm. It comes in to the Cape. It retrogrades over the Cape. And this actually, the HRRR takes it much further west, retrogrades the whole center over Long Island, and then back out. That's really very, very weird. All right, let's go now look at the total accumulated precip that the HRRR puts out, and it's very much in agreement with the GFS. I think you're going to get at least 2 to 3 inches of rain at the minimum, if not, and toward the higher end, it could be 4 or 5, and that, along with the wind, could cause some power outages, especially with the ground softened and stuff like that. Let's now look at the wind here on this, so we get an idea. And you can see, look at this, with that low center coming in like that. I mean, if the HRRR were correct, hopefully it's not, but it might wind up. It would give much of Long Island these very, very strong winds Wednesday morning, which would cause a tremendous amount of power outages across the entire island here. With such strong winds here, and we're talking tropical storm conditions, similar to Isaias, perhaps, with a track like that. That is quite concerning there. All right, and again, if we look at the winds at 850, just above the surface here, which is another thing we can look at here, you can see. Look at that purple. That is significant. So that is very significant when that can cause a lot of damage. Which is why I went to make sure to check out those leaves, because I think a lot of them, I'll be surprised if a lot, at least on Long Island, that they hang on. This is going to be goodbye foliage with that track. Though that, again, will be the least of our problems. So let's go to the HRRR as far as looking at the dew point, because with that track like that, that keeps us in the warmer air, much more in the tropical air. You can see that right there. Temperatures. So still have disagreements here, and that's what we have to watch for. The GFS keeps it further east. The HRRR really has it do that very unusual hook. And again, cooler on Wednesday, warmer on Tuesday, though, like I said, with the rain, it's not going to make it. But very unusual track, all in all. Now we go to the NAM. Let's go to the NAM next. And I'll go to the NAM 3. So here's the NAM 3. We actually have 19 hours of the 0Z run in. So let's take a look at the 19 at this. And you can see it's putting a lot of the heavy rain over New Jersey. Here's your low center. And that's as much as we've got. It keeps us raining most of the day tomorrow, obviously. Again, we don't really have enough of it out. So let me go to the 18Z run here. And you can see it just keeps us in the rain. But we get that little break in the late afternoon and early evenings before more rain comes in. And this low center now, honestly, I think the HRRR might be bringing it too far to the west. I mean, this seems to make more sense to me that it doesn't go that far west. So with that solution, that keeps the worst of the winds to our east. HRRR seems to be a standalone right now in that. But still, it does sit there. And this is, like I said, a very, very deep low pressure center over there. And that's going to produce a lot of winds. So let's go look at those winds. Well, actually, I'd want to use the other. All right, let's go to the total accumulated precip here. I know this is a mesoscale model, so you could pretty much, they all agree on the rainfall amounts here. Let me go to the NAM 12, and I'm going to use the 18Z because we just don't have enough of that in. And you can see general agreement on that. All right. I also want to look at the winds on this as well. Here's the wind, and again, look at this is going to be a tropical storm. I really think it's going to get a name, and you could see the Cape getting into the worst of it, and then a little bit of it nicking the east end and parts of Suffolk County just offshore on the south shore. This would be Wednesday. It's much slower to move it out. It has it sitting off to our east on Wednesday. GFS is quicker than the other models as far as moving this thing out on Wednesday. The NAM does not want to do that. You can see as far as the low, it does seem to wind up most of the precipitation, however, but I guess it would keep us in the cloud cover. Oh, man, what a storm this is. Well, let's see. Let's see if we've got any other models we want to entertain using at this point. I don't think so. Now, we'll just look at the sky. I know, who cares, but we'll go and look at that because I'm curious as to why the GFS is so much warmer in Jersey on Wednesday. It's trying to break some sun out, that's why. It's Wednesday. Thursday would be your day where you might get in a little bit of sun in before the next batch of clouds rolls in. But looks like I said, kind of an unsettled. We can look at the RGEM as well with the cloud cover. Obviously tomorrow we're not seeing the sun. Wednesday you might see the sun break out in New Jersey, perhaps to the west, and then this is Thursday. Not too encouraging to see. But again, we'll get to that when we get done with the storm. I don't really want to spend any more time on the skies than I have to. I want to look at another model, and that is windy.com and the European model. We'll go ahead and we'll put this in the rain view, I guess. Yeah, let's put this in the rain view. So this is the European model, and you can see that heavy rain again over us tomorrow. And then you can see your center there. You can really see that center sitting there. Just doing this loop-to-loop. They all agree on this loop-to-loop thing, which is very weird and very abnormal. But more concerned here. I want to use this model more for the wind and the wind gusts. All right. So as we head into tomorrow, again, you see that stronger wind, 5 p.m. Here's the wind gusts. Here's your center of circulation right here. Southeast of Montauk, it's a little quicker bringing it in. And again, southeast of Montauk, look at that, 75-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Over Suffolk County, you're going to have wind gusts 50 to 60 miles an hour. If you're in New Jersey, not as bad. And then look what happens here. Here we get to Wednesday. Early Wednesday morning, and most of us on the island are dealing with those 55-mile-an-hour wind gusts, parts of the Jersey Shore. Just offshore, you're going to have wind gusts to 74. and then this slowly moves away, but it keeps us in the windy conditions on Wednesday. Still dealing with pretty strong wind gusts over the east end. It lightens a little bit in New Jersey down to 40 miles an hour, and then it slowly pulls out. But you can see it's just an abnormal jet stream pattern that's doing this. And the next thing we'll go to the waves, and this is the other concern. Look at this. So this is pretty bad. 10 foot. This is Wednesday morning. The worst of it is going to probably be that overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday. Looking at some of these waves offshore, again, 10 foot. There's going to be significant flooding along the South Shore, and significant flooding along New England. New England's in the Cape's even going to get it worse. So this is going to be a pretty bad storm. And like I said, we're gonna keep experiencing that rough surf all day Wednesday, and it doesn't really start calming down until we get into Thursday. Oh man, clouds. We'll just look at the cloud. We'll use the cloud simulation to kind of visualize this storm again. So we're still looking at the European, so you can see that rain over us. There's your center of circulation. Look at trying to develop a little bit of an eye there. Wednesday, we're still dealing with clouds, though. Like I said, you might have some breaks of sun over New Jersey. Thursday, you would have maybe more sun. But again, it wants to roll the clouds back in on us on Thursday, perhaps. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But, wow, this is going to be an insane storm. And I still got another model to look at. I still got to look at this and look at the Cape levels tonight on this. For severe thunderstorms. I don't think we're going to see severe thunderstorms. The thunderstorms that develop could produce heavy rain. And this is the HRRR model. All right, so now let's go to the HRRR model with the wind. This is the one that hooks it the furthest west of all the models. And we're just looking at wind here. We're not looking at wind gusts. You can see it's got... This is Tuesday. We're looking at Tuesday. Okay, we are looking at Tuesday tomorrow. You can see... There's your center circulation. Look at these very strong winds. I'm not even at wind gusts. I'm just using wind speed now. Looking at some of these strong winds. The Cape is getting hammered, but then look what happens as you get into 10 o'clock. It takes it further and further west and brings the stronger winds toward us as we head. And then we go into Wednesday here. Here's Wednesday morning, and it's got that center of circulation right out over the east. Right, look at this. This is really bad. So this is right south of you have a possible tropical system just south. These are sustained winds here that we're looking at. I haven't even pulled up the gusts yet. This is the Jersey Shore. So HRRR certainly the worst of it. Let's now back this up to Tuesday and 4 p.m. And I'm going to put this in wind gusts because this is going to be a lot higher. This is pretty insane here. 87 mile an hour wind gusts offshore. 4 p.m. here over the Cape. Long Island so far not experiencing too much wind. The wind. I mean, this is insane. Look at what it's doing with the Cape. The Cape and coastal England, you could be getting hurricane force winds over Long Island. Tropical storm force winds start making their way westward. Here we are at, and again, look at these wind gusts plowing into Boston here. Here we go. Let's move this into Wednesday now. Wednesday morning, 1 a.m. We've got the strong winds, gusts 60 to 70 miles an hour over the east end. Moving us into 3 a.m., this all works its way west. Look at this. This is very concerning here. Wind gusts up to hurricane force across much of Long Island in the overnight hours for Wednesday morning. And again, this is the HRRR, again, very far west. And then the Jersey Shore gets into these hurricane force wind gusts. So this could be, again, looking like if the HRRR has its way, the worst storm we've had since Sandy. This would be the HRRR and the HRRR's opinion of it. Obviously, it's much further west, much stronger than a lot of the other models. If I switch the model and I switch this to the GFS, it keeps the worst of the winds over the Cape. It does not make the worst. It does not bring the really strong winds much past the east end of Long Island. And we gotta hope that the GFS is correct as far as making a guess as to which model is correct. You have the best case scenario, which is the GFS, and the worst case scenario, which is the HRRR. And at this point, I mean, the GFS has a better track record with these storms. And I would lean toward the GFS and say that we shouldn't see those ridiculous winds on Long Island, but on the most part of Long Island, but the East End and especially the Cape and New England, you are most likely to see this. However, things can change. We have to keep an eye on this. And again, the Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on this as well. So it's just insane what's going on. Let's look at that radar one more time before I wrap up this weather update. I'm going to have to provide many updates throughout this storm as to what's going on, as long as I can, of course. So it's going to expect a really rough day. Well, tomorrow we're going to deal with mostly a rain deal. All right, so it's going to be like two-part storm. Deal with the rain overnight, morning hours. We get a break in the afternoon and the evening from the heavy rain. And then as in the evening comes, we start seeing those strong winds, particularly into Wednesday morning, with this tropical hybrid forming offshore. This is insane stuff as we are witnessing, once again, another severe storm in our area. And this is the beginning of a really rough ride as we start dealing with the consequences of our out-of-control climate crisis that people just don't seem to want to pay attention to, because I'm way more scared of what's happening with our climate than the pandemic. This scares me way more. Yeah, but people would rather be scared of the pandemic, even though this is much worse. And people need to start getting their priorities straight. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you posted as we deal with this. Very interesting coastal tropical hybrid type of storm here. But I'll tell you, it looks tropical. Look at that on the satellite. It's looking a little bit like Sandy, and that's what has me scared. So we'll keep an eye on the latest runs, and I'll keep you updated. I might have another update tonight when we get more models in. Take care and have a good night.